Alrighty then. What is going on, everyone? Happy Monday. Welcome back to our online show, the Stay at Home Open Mic. Every Monday here on YouTube, presented by the Barbed Open Mic series out of El Paso, Texas. My name is Richie David Marrufo. I'll be your host and MC. And I'm coming to you live and alive from the 915. What's going on, everyone? If you were tuning in for the first time, this is as I just said, an online open mic, and it's just like any other open mic. If you want to perform, all you have to do is sign up. So we always do have a link in the description of the video. If you're on YouTube, there are other links there, including a link tree. If you follow that, you can subscribe to our link tree, and that is the first opportunity to see a sign up list. As soon as I put it out, I'll admit the consistency isn't there, but at some point before the show, even if it's 3 hours before the show, I don't think I've ever done it that late, but probably have. I will post the list so you can sign up. We do this weekly, every Monday. So if you're just checking it out right now, then good to have you. Shout out to Sandy. We got Mari Lou in the house. What's up? What's up? Steven is in there as well. We got Ed as well, both who are also going to be performing. Good to have you guys. Yeah. Let me mute this. Really quick before we start, again, this is like any other open mic. So, everyone who has signed up is amazing. Can't wait to hear their work. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the world. So, sometimes we just need a space to vent, get stuff off our chests, find community, and hopefully, we can do that. And another thing that we haven't talked about a whole lot, but we do have what's called the after party. After we do the live stream, a lot of us just kind of hang out and talk. And so if you need that in your life right now, then think about it. We're here. Uh, Shout out to a new subscriber, Jessica Vianette. Hey, thank you for subscribing. Welcome. Angela Lopez, thank you. All right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, my name is Rich. We are based out of El Paso, Texas. And if you guys are also tuning in from the college, from Paso Community College, I believe I left the description. I don't know why I've never done this, but in the description of our YouTube video, I think I left directions on how to get that Tejano QR passport credit. But also just let us know you're here. If you're tuning in, I see a lot of regulars, a lot of familiar names in the chat. But if you are just tuning in from anywhere else in the world, or if you it's like your first time tuning in, say hello in the chat because that is the way we get to interact with you and know who you are. To me, that's a lot more fun than just performing to the void. Obviously, that's not the void, but we can't envision you guys. But if you're there in the chat, it's a lot nice to hang out with you guys. All right, cool. The other thing, oh, we got Cassie coming into the Zoom room. Awesome. Okay, so quick note, guys. This week, it is February, by the way, so we got a whole month of open mics, as always, scheduled. Something that I've been trying to push a lot more lately. Tuesday nights, El Paso, downtown. We are alternating venues, neighbors, next door neighbors, same owners, between Mona Bar and Rosewood. So tomorrow, Tuesday the 4th, we will be at Mona Bar on East San Antonio Street, 410 and a half East San Antonio Street. This is our open mic that is kind of open to anything: music, poetry, comedy, drama, theater, dancing, any kind of performance art. Come on through. We'd love to have you. We don't have very many spaces. In fact, that's the only one that we do comedy still, because we've had issues with comedians. If you've been watching the show, if you've been to our shows, But with that said, I don't want to deprive people who would want to try it. That's the idea. So that's Mono Bar Tuesdays. With that said, we don't get too many anyway. It's a lot of musicians, and some poets as well. So come on through. A couple other things. We are on the cusp of starting a new series, so be on the lookout for that. Just a poetry show, pure poetry, spoken word, maybe even a writing workshop beforehand. So be on the lookout for that. But shameless plug: Thursday night, I will be performing personally. Spoken word poet version of me will be performing with a live jazz band. Some of the best in the city: Billy Towns on keys, David Rodriguez on bass, and Eddie Provencio on drums. I will be joined by one of our esteemed BWOMS co-hosts, along Fernando Antonio Montejano. who some of you may know from BWOMS, some of you may know from the Kiss FM morning radio show. Some of you may have even met him here online at one point. Um, we'll also be joined by Rebel Agnostic, a wordsmith, lyricist of the legendary El Paso hip hop jazz group Riboflavin. He'll be joining us. And I might be having auditions for future iterations of our jazz and poetry night for people who would be interested in performing. So, because I want to give people chances to do that as well, if that's something you might want to do. Anyway, that's Thursday at International Bar downtown. It's 114 East Mills, and that is going to be from 9 p.m. to 11:30. So if you can drop by, that'd be really cool. Um, Yes. Okay. So I think that's everything. We are going to go ahead and go to the list. As always, guys, this is ultimately a platform for people who want to sign up and share their craft, whether it be stuff that they wrote right before the show, this morning, last week, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it is. If you had something you want to share, you can share it. It could also be cover poems, right? Because musicians can do it, so can poets. Quoting quit kid there. I got to give you credit every time I say that because I think that's the perfect and fastest way to explain it to people. With that said, we're gonna kick things off with well, I don't think he's kicked off a show before, but he just so managed to beat everyone this time around, and that's the way it's gonna go. He's been coming through always, and of course, I encourage him to talk about his workshop group. Um, but without further ado, everyone, let's go ahead and make some space and welcome Ed K. Gonzalez. What's up, Ed? Get to kick off the show today. What's up?
Hello, everybody. Hello. Thank you very much. Much gratitude. Thank you very much for allowing me to kick off the show. I am honored. I'm going to start off reading something that I have read, I think, in the beginning. It was actually one of the first pieces I ever edited at the El Paso Poetry Workshop Group. It was actually a piece that they helped me edit. And the reason I'm reading is because recently, this week, I was notified that it's going to be published in the Rio Grande Valley International Poetry Fest. Shout out to Ed Viduri for getting a hold of me and letting me letting me be in the anthology. I'm stoked. Uh, this was named after actually for my dad. This one entitled Jaime. He gave me my first pocket knife. I was shown fields of nopal and tuna, from which we assembled salsa. From there, we hung a left, which led to a long-forgotten vineyard. After acquiring our booty, we transported it home, commencing to squeezing to juice and the jarring to jelly. He was fundamental to my learning and prepared many foods from tamal to pozole and taught me and cooked a mean French toast. Besides the fact my mother instructed me to keep it on arm's length, saying that he was uncle and not dad, a major deception. He was truly my dad. That was the first one. Thank you. And this one, I actually, I started out as more of a protest, but I ended up editing the hell out of it and decided it to be more about El Paso Strong rather than what a jerk our whoever that clown is in the White House. It's entitled El Paso Way. Seated between the Mexicos, following the snaking river, now decorated with a new shiny black wall bauble. Flurries now falling, blanketing the borderlands. Only the cold remains. Strong winds whip up the dust, filling the sky, knocking the leaves off our trees, and as my paddle cactus bows down to the frosty breeze, drifting from the Franklin Range. Until the sun rises again. Now 70 degrees, reminding the flora and fauna. This is the way it is in the desert. And following tradition, I have a couple of covers. This one from the Texas Bards and one of my favorite poets, Julieta Corpus. 3 dry summers ago, 2 fools and a ghost danced barefoot, feasting on green figs and pain. A gruesome sight made worse by love, that cunning serpent of discord in paradise. But the dance ended, and her pale skin shed during molting season, rots on a branch, abandoned, like regret, and exposed to nature's indignities. Free, at last, the fools soar above the mesquite trees, spitting fig seeds and hoping to grow a sweeter harvest. Yeah, Julieta Corpus, totally awesome. And I'm going to end tonight with one of my favorites, not only one of my favorite poets, but writers, the Venerable Pema Chodron. This one entitled Wake. The Navajo teach their children that every morning when the sun comes up, it's a brand new sun. It's born each morning. It lives for the duration of one day, and in the evening it passes on, never to return again. As soon as the children are old enough to understand, the adults take them out at dawn and they say, the sun has only one day. You must live this day in a good way so that the sun won't have wasted precious time. Acknowledging the preciousness of each day is a good way to live, a good way to reconnect with our basic joy. Ms. Pema Chodron. And that's all I got to read. Once again, please visit Facebook. We have on Facebook the El Paso Poetry Workshop Group. And if you have any questions, please ask. And thank you very much for the time. I appreciate it and love y'all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ed. Love it. Love it. Is that Wayland? Is that from the Alien franchise, like the cap? Or am I just seeing a big yellow W?
We're building better worlds. Everybody knows this.
There you
Come on
go.
now.
Cool. That's funny. I think one time this is a dumb anecdote, but the reason why I remember that is one time my mom ordered me like a Doctor Who t-shirt as a gift, and they accidentally sent her the company, but she thought it was like a worker replaced the t-shirt with like just a random company, and like it was still cool to get though. But yeah, I don't know why that reminded me of that. Anyway, if you guys are just tuning in, welcome to our online mic. We're here every Monday. We got a pretty nice list. We're gonna go and keep that going. Also, of course, even though you mentioned the workshop, I didn't mention, but of course, Ed is joining us in El Paso. But our next performer will be joining us in Denver, Colorado, where I hear, based on the pre-show, it's going to be cold. It's getting cold. So without further ado, next up on the mic is our friend Mike. It's Michael Sindler. All right, when you're ready, man, go and take it away. Hey.
Okay. Thank you very much, Richie. Those were really great, Ed. Enjoyed hearing those a lot. I'm going to waste no time and go ahead and put my little thing up here. It says lighthousewriters.org. So y'all can just scribble that down or type it in and do whatever you do and go check out the site and see, wow, that's got a lot of neat stuff going on. I'm going to start here. I've actually been writing a bit lately, which is good. Doesn't mean it's good, but it's good that I'm writing. This first one's called Free Library. The view from here is gray and bleak. It changes little week by week. The encampment shrinks and grows as the unhoused come and go. I fill the free library by the entrance, a few at a time, in remembrance of those who gave or lent me a volume They provided succor or relieved the gloom, even if only for a moment's peace. In the printed page, I was released, and so I hope to do the same for a soul I will never know by name, but will be kindred through literature, where from my window as a voyeur, I see them wander back into their tent with hard or softback entertainment, a small panacea, perhaps not much more, worlds of words for those who live outdoors. And I'm a big fan of little free libraries. I think they're just such a great concept. This next one is called The Rings of Saturn. The rings of Saturn shine, infinitely distant from your hand, forged by accident or design, a series of celestial bands, reflecting light from darkness, pointing toward the periphery, precisely the way my heart does when memory brings misery. The rings of Saturn shine, circling planet and revolution, still captive to the pull of time, as is a prayer for absolution. Next to Jupiter, out past Mars, only Saturn wears jewelry. Still no rival to the endless stars who know adornments are illusory. The rings of Saturn shine as they spread themselves thin. The sphere inside confined can do little but languidly spin. Planets pass each other lifelessly, hopelessly chasing constellations. Our faint hopes held tight, some silently, until memory brings consolation. And this last one is one I wrote for a book project that someone asked me to be part of. I'm very grateful to that. It's called Lucky 13. Later, we look back using distance as perspective, counting ourselves lucky, knocking on wood until knuckles bleed, yearbooks, baggy photos still embarrass. Triumph and trauma, thump and bump, hung gaze off stage, out of sight lines, innocence longing to dispense itself, roaming attention, stumbling forward, tinder trap snapped, captured disaster, 8 times 31 left and counting down. Educated decision puts lid on continuation, not without regret, but lucky nonetheless. And I'm going to go ahead and, with no big surprise, put on the hat. And as we know, today is already the 3rd. And while that means it's more days of somebody doing stupid things, it's also the 3rd day of Black History Month, which is a good thing. And so I'm going to start with one by Kwame Dawes called Dirt. And the epigram is, I got one part of it. Sell them watermelons and get me another part. Get Bernice to sell that piano and I'll have the 3rd part. August Wilson. We who gave own nothing, learn the value of dirt, how a man or a woman can stand among the unruly growth, look far into its limits, a place of stone and entanglements, and suddenly understand the meaning of a name, a deed, a currency of personhood. Here, where we have labored for another man's gain, it is fine to own dirt and stone. It is fine to have a plot where a body may be planted to rot. We who have built only that which others have owned learn the ritual of trees, the rites of fruit picked and eaten, the pleasures of ownership. We who have fled with sword at our backs know the things they have stolen from us, and we will walk naked and filthy into the open field, knowing only that this piece of dirt, this expanse of nothing, is the earnest of our faith in the idea of tomorrow. We will sell our bones for a piece of dirt. We will build new tribes and plant new seeds and bury our bones in our dirt. And this one is by Sonia Sanchez, and it's called This Is Not a Small Voice. This is not a small voice you hear. This is a large voice coming out of these cities. This is the voice of Latanya, Kadesha, Shaniqua. This is the voice of Antoine, Daryl, Shaquille, running over waters, navigating the hallways of our schools, spilling out on the corners of our cities, and no epigraphs spill out of their river mouths. This is not a small love you hear. This is a large love, a passion for kissing, learning on its face. This is a love that crowns the feet with hands, that nourishes, conceives, feels the water, sails, mends the children, folds them inside our history, where they toast more than the flesh, where they suck the bones of the alphabet and spit out closed vowels. This is a love colored with iron and lace. This is a love initialed Black Genius. This is not a small voice you hear. Okay, thank y'all very much.
And of course, thank you, Mike. Awesome, awesome. Great list. One of the things I always, and for those of you that come all the time, probably I've heard this many times, but just a really great way to introduce other works to people in the world. And that's another thing to do, like share the art that you love, and that inspires you or that you feel is complementary to a moment in time, right? Or seasonal. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and come back to El Paso for our next performer. And let me just double check the list here. What can I say? She's always rocking the coolest outfits, both in person and online. It's also a treat when she gets to read. And I feel like I can never truly convey sometimes, how great it is to have her be part of the community and share her words. She's been published everywhere, and of course, with Tumble Words for such a long time, a great testament to having the opportunity to just generate writing that you can transform into whole collections. So, without further ado, we're going to continue with Robin Schofield. Hey, Robin, happy Monday.
Hey, Richie. Happy Monday, everybody, and people of the future, whatever day it is. I hope you're happy. I'm going to read 3 of my own poems and a cover poem. And I think these were written in Tumble Words. I'm pretty sure they were, except for one of them. Yeah. So this is called Radical Amazement in the Desert. Take a swing with the pickaxe to break apart the impossible riddle of the caliche soil. So much solid rock, like yellow cakes, but not so dangerous. Feel your deltoid tear as the blade goes flying off the handle, and so do you, cursing your crippled shoulder and broken tool, the hard ground winning again. Take a swing at these dry thoughts in the arid region of the brain, where tilting neurons snag on white thorns and dopamine leaps across synaptic gaps, gaping like arroyos. To dig up a desert irrigation is key. Okay, and I don't know what kind of weather y'all are having, but I think we're having spring weather, so I thought of this, and I saw a robin passing through the other day, so I thought, oh wow, spring is really on the way quickly. So this is called future tense. Songbird of spring, symphony in his syrinx, trilling for a mate, feathered allegro, uncomposing, whole notes to seek out cloaca, notations to a clutch. Mud puddle of music, blue sky full of tunes, crisscross fleshy flutes, courting his counters to court the countless leaves in the tree. And that was a sonnet. And I think this one is too. Let me tell you, 2, 4, 6, 8, 14 or 15 lines. So this is called Lines Written After I Catch the COVID Variant Going Around London, after Eduardo C. Corral. All waves retreat toward joy. Joy is an onyx stone whirled inside a volcano. We have yet to measure traces of joy, like a photon. Joy departs as noisily as a coyote in heat. It's illegal to puff on joy out in the open. In my skull, joy opens the crown chakra. Flightless owls burrow into joy, building nests. I throw a pinch of rock salt over joy. In some languages, joy is a verb. Bull's horns bruise the blue sky of joy. Like the moon, joy will keep her distance from you. Joy poses for her portrait, still as a mirror. In the dark, joy climbs a tree and waits by the watering hole. Above the floor of joy, my arteries inch toward the dirt. Okay. And I have a cover poem that is fun to read in around Valentine's Day. It's Rita Dove and her poem Heart to Heart. And if you don't know Rita Dove's work, you really should. And I like how in this poem she's exploding all the cliches about the heart. It's neither red nor sweet. It doesn't melt or turn over, break or harden, so it can't feel pain, yearning, regret. It doesn't have a tip to spin on. It isn't even shapely, just a thick clutch of muscle, lopsided, mute. Still, I feel it inside its cage sounding a dull tattoo. I want. But I can't open it. There's no key. I can't wear it on my sleeve or tell you from the bottom of it how I feel. Here, it's all yours now, but you'll have to take me too. Thanks, everybody. Try to come to Tumblewords at 1 o'clock Mountain Time on Saturdays. Next week, it's going to be Kit Wren, right? No.
Sandy. Sandy.
Oh, Sandy's going to do something. Yeah, Sandy's workshops are always productive. And then it's going to be Kit during his annual anti-love poetry workshop. So that should be fun. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Robin. Awesome, awesome. Let me get back to the spotlight here. Yes, yeah, by the way, Sandy is here in the live chat. So if you want to go check out that workshop, and then yeah, Kit's traditional, what is it, Against Love Poetry? Is that the title? Yeah. Yeah, definitely check those out. Once again, if you guys are just tuning in, this is our online open mic. Let us know you're here. If you're tuning in, if you're listening in live. If not, if you're one of our future listeners that Robin alluded to, then leave a comment. You know, who did you enjoy? What did you like? And hopefully you can join us in a future live stream. We do this every Monday at around 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. All right, so we're going to continue, and our next performer is joining us. 26,000 light years away from the center of the Milky Way. That's right. You can also find them on Blue Sky at Poet Friend, and he is a poet friend. They got to perform last Thursday at Old Sheepdog, which is always a whole lot of fun. Thank you for being there. And now online, everyone make some room for David Latif. David, take it away when you're ready. Hello, hello.
Hi. I'm going to read some poetry from my book, The Chair, A Cluttered Pile of Neuroqueer Poetry. It's fairly good. You can get it on Amazon. I'm going to read 3 poems, and then I have a hat because I'm going to do a cover poem. First time I'm doing one. But it's one of those where I'm like, yeah, this is the poem for today, and this is how I'm feeling. So this first one is called The Sudden Sad. I've got this thing that I call the sudden sad, where I'm doing fine until something happens, or maybe nothing happens, and I'm suddenly on the cusp of crying, trying to balance myself on a thin red line, looking down at the chasm from the Emily Dickinson poem where a plank in reason breaks and she falls down and down. But the thing is, I've been down that down and down. I know it's there, and knowing doesn't make it any easier. It's the same terrifyingly mundane down and down as every other time, poised to swallow me whole, and the only thing holding me up is this thin plank in reason. I stretch my arms out to balance and wobble, unable to look anywhere but down and down. This next one's called Don't Fuck With Me, I Will Cry. I'm a human-sized barrel of nitroglycerin, ready to explode into tears. I have skin as thin as graphene, with none of the strength. Poke me, and I guarantee you'll be able to feel my soul. And I hope and pray that one day I will make my graphene skin into graphite, or that some modern day Nobel will calm the chemistry in my brain. But until then, please don't fuck with me. I will cry. This next one's called Emergency Chocolate. I kept a chocolate bar that was labeled Emergency Chocolate in the butter cubby of my mostly empty fridge. I didn't think I would need it. I had a bad day that I've had before, when the pile of things I didn't do on all the other days crashed down onto me. And I swear that it'll never happen again, just like I did last week. I'll buy another chocolate bar. And then my cover poem comes from the wonderful Franny Choi and their book, The World Keeps Ending and the World Goes On. This poem is called Poem with an End in Sight. I don't have a brain for anything that's happening on screen. I don't have a brain for the men yelling over each other. I've done an amazing job. Their cheeks flushed and flaking. I've done an amazing job. I have 2 degrees and couldn't have saved anyone. Couldn't have saved a dog. I have a million ideas. I have last year's ashes in my throat, stories stuffed so full of morals they bleed sugar. Midnight, and my stomachs drag like nets through a river. Dawn, and I'm out on the blacktop praying to no one, so no one prays back. I know I should want to be torn open by the failures of hope, but here's what I want. A tight circle around everyone I love. A stove that doesn't burn. Oh year, oh shitstorm. It's impossible to be alive, impossible to be dead. So brainlessly I tongue the news again instead. I have no condition but this ill-timed optimism, a disturbing tendency toward pleasure, also bad at reading tone. For example, is this a hopeful poem or a hopeless one? If I write, there's nothing to be done, it's a bird in the hand, i.e., worth its weight in dead bird. It's so corny to call for the tyrant's head again. And yet, thank you so much. Thank you, Richie, for holding these open mics. They mean so much to me. Highly recommend getting this book and get it from your local bookstore. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that message, David. And a great set. I'm glad you did the cover poem. It's just kind of fun to see what other people are reading and what they're enjoying or that's they're connecting with. So it's kind of the way that works. But as always, I linked your book to the live chat. So those of you on YouTube Live, you can click on that if you have a chance. And when speaking of like the anger and anti-love poems, we can show love in different ways, like supporting community. So if someone has a book out, maybe consider buying it for someone, buying it as a gift. I think one of the coolest things is when you can like buy local art from someone and gift it to someone else. There's some sort of magic in that. I insist. But yeah. We're going to go ahead and continue, and we're going to stick around in El Paso. An awesome musician. He's always so supportive. It's nice seeing him in person, but also online. And also, I know everyone just really loves his music. So without further ado, Steven Molina in the house. Steven, take it away when you're ready. Yo.
Hey. Got two for you, and I actually got my first poem. We're breaking some new ground. It's only like 2 stanzas, but we're getting in there. All right. Man, this first one is as a cover. I'm actually sort of gonna blend the two together. It's not really a mashup, but it's got a little transition. And this cover, I mean, the context of it is during wartime, but I had a new interpretation of it, which is my favorite thing to do lately. And so it kind of almost became like a prequel to this original that I'm going to play. It's one of my favorite songs called A Minute Anyway. But without further ado. Oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Wait, Mr. Postman. Oh yeah, please, Mr. Postman. Oh yeah. Well, there must be some word today from my boyfriend so far away. Please, Mr. Postman, look and see. Is there a letter for me? Oh, I've been standing here waiting, Mr. Postman, so patiently for just a card or just a letter saying he's returning home to me. Please, Mr. Postman. Oh, yeah. Please, Mr. Postman. Oh, yeah. So many days you passed me by. You saw the fear standing in my eye. You wouldn't stop to make me feel better by leaving me a card or a letter. Please, Mr. Postman, look and see. Is there a letter, oh yeah, in your bag for me? You know it's been so long. I've heard from this boyfriend of mine. You better wait a minute. Oh, you better wait a minute. Oh, please, Mr. Postman. Please check and see just one more time for me. You better wait a minute. Oh, you better wait a minute. Oh, please, Mr. Postman. for the latter, the sooner the better. Better wait a minute. Oh, you better wait a minute. Oh, you better wait a minute. Oh, you better wait a minute. Oh, I've been waiting a minute. Oh, I've been waiting a minute. Oh, I've been waiting, 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 waiting. Oh, I've been waiting a minute. Oh, I've been waiting a minute. She gives a letter to a man on a train. She says, I'm done, I won't be treated this way. I'm getting off at the next stop, you should stay. I loved you, but you're a minute too late. And she walks away. The wheels and pistons grinding into the fray, illuminated by the blue moon sway. She's at the bar hoping the next few drinks will undo the longest minute in play. That's when I walk her way. She tells me, sir, you picked a hell of a day. Her lipstick trailing down the glasses in shame. Well, maybe just this once I'll behave. I'd love to shoulder a minute of your day. She says, I just really need a break. I say, I know a place. A gentle breeze as we spark up a flame. She says, if I confess to you, will your lips stay? I must be in need of an emotional change. I'm drawn to the kind of love that I hate, a defective trait. I say, don't you realize you're perfect this way? Every emotion in your heart must stay. And soon I swear you'll hear a gentleman say, I love you. But my dear, don't rush the wave. 'Cause when it comes, it needs to be worth the wait. The whistle sounds as we share an embrace. Some final words before her beauty escapes. God only knows if I will see her face again. Oh, again. Ooh. But if that's not the case, I hope this minute will breach your gates. 'Cause when I was wasted, lost in pain, oh, it only took a minute for me. When it's so hard to see, when you can't feel your feet, when you can barely breathe, sometimes a minute is all you need. Thank you guys, appreciate that. I did promise a little tiny poem. I did it in a tumble words. Shout out, shout out. And the prompt, we weren't able to recite it. The prompt was like a take-home kind of prompt. Shout out to Melody. I think who's coming up, actually. And so the prompt was, you're someone who loves me. You noticed I've seemed a little lackluster. I'm not quite myself. How do you know? What do you tell me? My darling, are you rested? Have you eaten? Come lay your head down, just for a moment, and I'll make you something. I see your breath as it fades into the moonlight, the essence of life escaping. Yet no part of us is meant to be kept bottled up. We simply hope another breath will come around, until one day it doesn't. And when that day comes, what will your heart yearn for? We were never meant to defeat darkness. It's the battle for the light that makes this meaningful, that makes us beautiful. Eat, rejuvenate, body and spirit realign. Then get up and walk forward, one step at a time. This is no mellow brick road. It's a mountain range. It's a cage match. Breathe. Keep your guard up. And I'll be here in your corner whenever you need me. Thanks, guys. If by any chance you want to check out some music, I got it recorded. Hit me up on Insta at Scuba Tanks Music. Insta's where it's at. There's a link tree in there, and that's where all the links are, for sure. Thanks for having me, Richie. Love you. Happy Monday.
Wow, man. Great set. Great set. I'm super excited. A lot of love in the YouTube live chat as well, of course, on the Zoom chat. Man, what another great um advertisement for Tumble Words. It sounds like people are getting some good writing done. Also, great job, Melody, too, for some prompts, huh? That really drew stuff out of people. Yes, like Steven said, Melody will be reading in a little bit. But right now, we're gonna go ahead and bring up our next performer, who will be shouting into the void. I hear you. I think I used that phrase earlier, and I didn't even realize that's what you wrote down in your what you will be performing. So yeah, I'm with you on that. But without further ado, as is tradition on Mondays, it's time for the MV Lee with the little sad ghost there on the screen. Everyone, it is Lee Martinez Soto. Hey, hey.
Hi. So I just have two things. They're kind of shouting if I say it loud enough. This first one is called Flight Fight Chisme. Ya me tocaba. I tell myself as if I'm covered behind what I hope is a concrete wall. I'm kidding myself thinking that any sort of construction back home isn't 100% flaky ass drywall, but I still hope. Outside, thunder roars. 1, 2, 6, each as loud and close as close as the previous. Inside, chismosos line up around the windows, trying to catch a glimpse of the story, while I fear they will instead catch a stray of flash of lightning. This is not my first brush with thunder and lightning. Years before, thunder had roared down the streets of my childhood home, each bang louder than the previous. Back then, my instincts was still to stalk behind concrete walls, stay away from the windows, stop, drop, and don't make a sound. Such survival instincts would later prove useful when another country, pretending to be superior, had the same exact issues from which I had fled. I learned somewhere that if you count the seconds between each flash and the sound of thunder, divided by 5, you'll get the distance of the lightning. In miles, which is not super useful, but I don't need to count. Not here, not back then. The distance is right across the street. Ducking behind the concrete wall, I am able to catch a glimpse of my mother waiting in her car, straining her neck to find the origins of the gunshots. Yes, metaphor be damned, gunshots, not thunder or lightning. She spots me looking at her. What the fuck? I mouth. She lowers her seat as if that would stop the bullets from finding her, as if steel could stop lead lightning. I can still see her face sticking up. When the seconds between each flash and bang increases, I signal for her to rush inside with me. In slow motion, she gets out of the car, checks her purse, checks to see if she locked the doors, and totters in while looking around trying to spot something of interest. Inside, she joins the chismosos lining up the windows, each piecing together their first-hand account of the chisme. Whoever came up with the concept of flight, fight, freeze, fawn response did not take into account the chisme response and its prevalence in areas where these things seem almost normal. And then I have the second one. This is newer. I read it on Thursday at Old Sheepdog, and it's called Border Crossings. The walk back to Mexico starts with finding a parking spot. You circle around the couple of blocks closest to the bridge a few rounds until you find a space big enough to accommodate your subcompact SUV and poor parallel parking skills. This part is always the worst part. That's a lie. The walk back to Mexico starts the day before, while you mentally prepare for the walk, the things you'll have to take, how much weight you can realistically carry, the conversations you will have to make, the trek back after it is all over, and how much rest you will really get through the weekend. This is the worst part. Parking is a close second, though. Car parked, steering wheel lock set, you secure your belongings in your backpack and begin the walk. It's winter, so the air nips at your skin and pushes pin needles through your lungs. During summer, the sweltering heat constricts your breath and makes it harder to focus. Hard not to fall asleep or stop yourself from tearing your clothes off and skin off. Regardless of the weather, you keep conversations to a minimum. Walk in a line to avoid bumping into others. Try to keep your heavy and jagged breathing to yourself and glance occasionally at your surroundings. The view varies by little. Concrete, metal fences, reinforced with more metal fences, barbed wire, and graffiti. Concrete barriers across the path, reinforced with metal fences, barbed wire, a migra lookout, and graffiti. And the Rio Bravo with metal fences, barbed wire, plants, ducks, and graffiti. The only additions you have ever been grateful for is the carp that covers the top of the metal cage you're surrounded with, meant to protect you from the sun. In your mother's car now, you crack open the windows or turn on the AC to the max. This is regardless of the weather. The bochornos be really fucking you up lately. You brace for conversation. It's always the same. Some catching up over what happened since the last time you saw each other, some reiteration of what happened in the last months, and the latest news about how fucked up things are getting. She still seems to think it is safer on the other side, despite all evidence to the contrary. You catch her up on that too. The mass deportations and the risks posed to birthright citizenship. Mamá, nosotros somos niños ancla, chingado, le afecta a usted también. The pause on all federal funding and the number of people losing access to food, shelter, medical care, and a job. The threat of a federal abortion ban. The loss of protections for your queer and disabled family. The list grows every fucking day. Está jodido, ma. She just nods and changes subjects when it gets too political. You recall a conversation you had when your dad still lived about all those damn communists wanting to do to Mexico what they did to Cuba, with zero interest in hearing you out about how Mexico's public healthcare system saved their families a lot of money and lives. It's hard not to get political when your entire existence has become a battleground, but she doesn't get it. Just like the absolute morons who voted against her interests don't get it. Latinos for Trump, gays for Trump, women for Trump, people relying on the few public programs our government has for Trump. But they will get it one day, when it finally hurts them like he said it would. So instead of repeating yourself, you shut down and let her tell you for the nth time about what her friends said to her about the vecina's daughter, letting her continue with her life until politics finally reach her. You can already feel you will get no rest for another weekend, dreading the walk back home and the potential that those bridges that connect you will one day shut down too. That's it.
Thank you, Lee. I noticed that you added a Substack there below you. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I'm trying to diversify, I guess, and I'm trying not to use Instagram or Facebook that much. So if you're interested in reading more like the essays and some of the poetry as well, you can find it on my Substack. I'll put the link on the comments, and it's always on my link tree as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Lee. And I will forward that on. And I see that we got a whole Lee crew in here with us. Shout out to Andres. As always, good to see you in the chat. What up, Lex? Hello. I Shine 1721. Hey, cool, awesome. Lee's is great, aren't they? Yeah. So yeah, I'll repost that Substack if you want to check it out. I know a lot of us are trying to be more conscious of moving away from those platforms. So yeah, if you guys have your Substack, Blue Sky, all that stuff, let us know. Okay, so what up, everyone? If you're just tuning in, this is our online mic. Once again, we're gonna go ahead and travel around the country a little bit. Our next performer is joining us from South Euclid, Ohio. And let me just double check. And yeah, all right, you're here. All right. So without further ado, it's Doc Janning. Doc, what's up, man? Go and take it away.
Am I here?
You
Really?
are.
Are you sure? Uh, this first piece is titled The Song of Life. In the echoing landscape of time is heard a wind-born song, the song of life, an intelligent poem of infinite colors and infinite tongues, sung by a chorale of eons and ages, a ballad of beginnings and endings and the odyssey of betweens, a canticle of yearning, the eternal yearning of life for itself, a meditation of forever in voices of stars. And this is titled Anabasis and Catabasis of Love. Love is a stravaging and an odyssey. It is a pathway which is straight yet convoluted, an anabasis and a catabasis, and it is a voyage into a labyrinth of unknowns. It is a journey spurred by the animancy of the soul calling to another. The songs of Eros, the beauty of Venus, and the arrows of Cupid at a je ne sais quoi, guided by sun, moon, and stars, by planets and constellations, the pathways of moments. We are called by voices of infinity. They call us to each other, call us to our forever, beyond forever. And this is titled White Wind. And in this context, white wind symbolizes a coming change for the better. In the Tonglen and Darshan of our souls and the mysteries of time, Hineni is proclaimed and love blooms. A white wind flows over, around, and through the moments of you and me. And catalysis creates us. And I will finish with a sojourn in the world of if. The world of reality intrudes. Dreams are shattered, emotions quiet. Pain of saudade, loss, and strife prevails. Yet through the sadness and shadows, beyond the horizon of dreams, a faint forlorn hope and longing persists. It persists in a wabi-sabi world, the world of if. Thank you. And next Sunday, this coming Sunday, the 9th, is my Zoom event, Second Sunday Poets, and I'm going to post it in the chat right now.
All right, it worked.
Yeah, no.
Got it. Copy and pasted. Perfect.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Thank you, Doc, for joining us once again.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And I will see what I can copy and paste there from that. Yeah, because that's just a link to the Zoom meeting. I'll be careful about that. I would say follow Doc on Facebook, Doc Janning, and you can get that info as well. Have you ever got Zoom bombed that way? Just putting a link out there? No, huh? Once. Or no, you're like, wait,
No, I've never been
Oh.
Zoom bombed.
good. I mean,
Thank
I
goodness.
guess
I've
not
been
as
at
common.
other Zooms where they've been bombed with some very vile stuff.
oof, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, some people have no lives. In that regard. Anyway, yeah, thank you, Doc. Appreciate that. All right, I'm looking at the list. Very cool. Again, if you guys are watching and you like this, if you have anything you want to share, all I can say is, when you feel ready, we're here every week. So if it's not this week, that's fine. Maybe next week or the week after that. I'd like to think that everyone here is very welcoming and supportive. Everyone can attest to that. Those of you who are hanging out in the live chat can also just vouch for that. But we're going to keep going. And our next performer is joining us from Germany. Oh, man, it's the homie. I miss him so much. I miss you so much, Luis. But I know you guys are doing well over there. Luis is going to play some music for us. As always, very cool stuff. So as soon as you're ready, man, I'll switch over to you. As soon as I hear my voice echo, I know. Hey.
Hey, man, miss you too. Yeah, I miss all you guys. I'm gonna sing a cover by Facundo Cabral and then an original. Me gusta el sol, Alicia y las palomas, el buen cigarro y la guitarra española, saltar paredes y abrir las ventanas. Y cuando llora una mujer, no soy de aquí, ni soy de allá. Ni tengo edad, ni porvenir, y ser feliz es mi color de identidad. Me gusta el vino tanto como las flores, y los conejos y los viejos pastores, el pan casero y la voz de Dolores, y en el mar mojando a los pies. No soy de aquí, ni soy de allá, ni tengo edad, ni porvenir, y ser feliz es mi color de identidad. Me gusta estar tirado siempre en la arena, en bicicleta perseguir a Manuela, todo el tiempo para ver las estrellas, con la María en el trigal. No soy de aquí, ni soy de allá, ni tengo edad, ni porvenir, y ser feliz es mi color de identidad. Escape slowly left you to contemplate, and what is right or wrong for you. There once were many stars, now you can't find where you need to start. So let the desert wind lead you now. And if you say you're not doing well, well, these days I can't tell. And yes, your heart could soon break, but only if you let it. So tell me what you think is peace. Is acceptance all that we need to figure out how we should live now? And tell me what I'm fighting for. And tell me what I need to know to figure out what this life's about. And what else can I say? But your love for me faded away. Should I give it any more thought? I know I'm just like you, always fighting like you have something new that you need to prove. And if I say I'm not doing well, well, these days, can you tell? And yes, my heart could soon break, but you know I won't let it. So tell me what you think is peace. Is acceptance well all that we need to figure out how we should live now? And tell me what I'm fighting for. And tell me what I need to know to figure out what this life's about. Thank you, everyone. My name is Luis Camberos. I have music on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, and all the major streaming platforms. Just look up the name Luis Camberos. And Rich, like always, man, thanks for everything. Thanks, guys.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Luis. I always appreciate your music, man, because I feel like I just get to drift away into my inner worlds and then just really feel stuff. You feel me? Anyway, thanks for those. I did link. Luis has an album that he has on Bandcamp that you guys can check out. I linked that in the live chat, and if you guys are interested as well in the Zoom here, I'll give this to you guys here right now. For all of us hanging on the Zoom chat, there you go. God, I love those songs. And then I always have requests too, but I'm like, no, he already has a stuff planned. He already has a set in mind. But yeah, with enough time, I'll request stuff again. But guys, we're gonna keep continuing. We have a powerhouse of a spoken word poet who's been running his own mics that look pretty cool. He's joining us from Falls Church, Virginia. Once again, back on the show, it's Wall Poet. What's up, man? Take it away when you're ready. I'm atmospheric today. What's up?
Oh yeah, I got a different background now, and this time I'm on the couch. So half the time I'm in the car, but not in the car today. In the couch and got a background. All right, I got three for y'all. The first one y'all kind of heard before, but I like redid it. So I've only done it one other time, and then two new ones. All right, the first one's called School Lunch. In the third grade, I was one of 5 non-white kids in class. Honestly, I can barely remember my teacher's name, but I do remember the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches my mom made me for lunch. This was a necessity. To me, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches were the recipe or key to assimilation, a golden ticket to acceptance, the American dream cut in triangle slices with no crust. My way of eating something American without being made fun of for being different, without being made fun of for being an immigrant. Didn't always love cafeteria food. Unseasoned food splattered on a tray made me nauseous. And what the hell's a sloppy Joe? I cautiously used to sit around the table while kids treated their lunch like Pokemon cards, using them as currency to get something better. While the kids asked what you eat for dinner last night, hoping they would never get to me, while wondering what they would have thought of the ají de lengua I ate the night before, curious if they would have asked if the cow's fiery tongue licks your face while you eat it. But my favorite was carne asada con arroz, marinated steak resting on a bed of rice while being caressed by sauteed onions, wondering if they saw my mouth water in the school bus going home from anticipation, wondering if they knew that I actually loved being Bolivian but was afraid to show it. As I got older, who knew school lunch would come up again? That is until my daughter turned 8 and my wife wanted her to take leftovers. I said she doesn't want to take chicken and rice. Kids want ham and cheese, Capri Suns, chips, and chocolate pudding, the cornerstone of an American lunch. Not realizing that maybe my daughter is more evolved than me at the same age. Suddenly, my friend's snapshot of what happened when he brought a bean sandwich to school floated in my head like recyclable plastic, picturing the beans seeping from the bread like an oil spill. Ooh, that's nasty, is what they told him. So he never brought it again. That didn't exactly happen to me, but I remember the alpaca wool sweater my mom made me wear to school at age 12, the way it felt like a broom caressing my neck, and how the kids at school broke out laughing when I forgot I was wearing it. Honestly, it seemed like I could never really fit in, never truly feel like I was an authentic American. But what does that actually mean? To me, it means watching wrestling with my dad on Saturday mornings with old school salsa blasting in the background, being awestruck as Macho Man lands a flying elbow drop while eating empanadas de queso with powdered sugar on top. It was also rooting for Bolivia at the U.S. World Cup and screaming at the top of my lungs until my voice left my body. See, I didn't learn until much older it's possible to be both Latin and American. It's possible to balance both cultures like a circus performer riding a unicycle on top of a wire. It's possible to be proud of my mestizo features and want my children to be raised in the same Northern Virginia neighborhood I grew up in. It's also possible for my English to tower over my Spanish and still be Latin American. And it's definitely possible to want to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because it reminds you of elementary school, and eat carne asada con arroz because it reminds you of being Bolivian. Home. I got two more. Still working on that one. I think it's getting better. All right. The next two. All right. Next one is Be the Change. I won't sell you false promises or have a catchy slogan for you to put on the front of an overpriced t-shirt or hat. That's what con artists do. I don't have a crystal ball or I'm able to show you how to fix all your problems. That's what fortune tellers do. And unless their last name is Targaryen, don't wait on a hero to brandish a sword while cruising on the back of a dragon heading to the village of your enemies. That's what HBO is for. What I can do is be a poet, purposefully dreaming while wielding words like Thor does his hammer in my quest to embrace the humanity of marginalized communities, doing my best to speak on behalf of the voiceless and dedicated to relaying the significance of compassion to the rising generation while also instilling the importance of critical thinking, aspiring to pen words capable of sparking change even when times seem the most dire or bleak, aspiring to touch on the struggles of people thought of as extraterrestrial for not having the proper documentation, aspiring to touch on the struggles of people thought of as extraterrestrial for not having the proper documentation, aspiring to be a better human being. And I'm old enough to tell you that this won't be the last time that you feel discouraged, let down, or downtrodden. And this won't be the last time that you feel jaded about the world state or feel life is not fair, because you're right, it's not. But I'm urging you to become a living embodiment of the difference you wish to make, urging you to have dreams the size of meteors and persistence like stars brightly blazing for billions of years in the sky, urging you to not take things for granted and be ready to battle ignorance through education and have the grace to deal with different perspectives, but still be willing to hold your ground when needed, urging you to value empathy over callousness and never stop being able to detect injustice, especially against those who need it the most, urging you to create art and music that challenges dated ways of thinking and stirs the human spirit, urging you to become the change you want to see. See, you are an underdog patiently playing possum in order to deliver that knockout blow. See, you are underestimated, undervalued, and currently under construction. See, your resilience is unmatched, and your desire to better the world isn't only admirable, it's necessary. See, you are capable of so much more, but you just don't know it yet. And how do I know? Because I am too. All right, I got one more. Um, and this one is like based on a writing prompt. And I really wanted to get my hand on it. And it actually was harder than I thought. But I think I'm happy with it now. This one's called I've been writing these poems. Last one. I've been writing these poems because this is what I was born to do. But in all honesty, it kind of feels like, what the hell else can I do? When scrolling on your phone leads to this just in, more breaking news, leaving you oversaturated, overwhelmed, and overdue for some time to just decompress. So give me Dos Equis chilled and some Netflix. Give me a mic and 15 minutes to rock a poetry set list. Give me a writing prompt that I wasn't even asked to do to begin with. I've been writing these poems because these words demolish repressive ideas like bulldozers do bricks, then brushing aside the rubble to plant seeds of hope next to it. Realizing that my stress can't compare to those truly living this. What's the point of an American dream if it threatens your existence? What's the point of an American dream when you're consistently considered less? What's the point of an American dream when the American dream is dull and tarnished? And yet we still persist. I've been writing these poems for a sense of clarity and understanding when this is my only therapy, and poets and musicians slowly started to resemble family. And you don't need to challenge me to write poems because this is my true form of expression, effortlessly flowing from essence to fingertips when a pen and paper are no longer needed, just a cell phone, Google Docs, and the feeling I just wrote some dope. Able to spark ideas deemed as revolutionist, able to electrify minds of those who doubted I'd ever be able to do this, able to lay roots so that they bloom into something prodigious. I've been writing these poems, or should I say I have been writing these poems? Maybe that's just the educator in me. Either way I say it, it's still me, while these poems have been desperately trying to find me for years as I ignored them, doubting their necessity, ignoring them as they lurked in the lunchbox filled with arroz con pollo I took to work, ignoring them while asleep in the pockets of my favorite shirts. Yeah, I ignored them, but they finally appeared when I needed them the most. I've been writing these poems, or better yet, I stay writing poems that I regularly mold like polymer clay, shaping into towers that conversate with the sun in the middle of the day, that I hope will inspire the most vulnerable to pick up a pen and paint, that drag me out of bed and refuse to let me sleep until they're finally scribed on a digital page, that allow me to soar then reach supersonic heights, that allow me to walk on top of the clouds, that allow me to feel like I'm worth something, all because I'm able to create art and read aloud, that allow me to feel like I'm worth something, all because I'm able to create art and read it aloud, that allow me to find purpose in the chaos that is life, that allow me to feel like I truly belong, all because I choose to write. Poem. Thank you very much. If y'all want to follow me, I'm a Wall Poet 82 on IG.
Oof, man, that goes hard, dude. Thank you so much for these pieces. They're so we need it, such an educator too with these. Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
And I did share ways you can connect with them on for those of you on YouTube right now. Again, shout out to everyone who's watching and listening. If you are an EPCC student, I did leave instructions in the description of this video on how you can get the Tejano Passport QR code. And essentially is just listen, listen to everyone and write a little thing in response, of what you picked up, what you learned. All right, but anyway, let's continue on, guys. We're gonna come back to El Paso, where we have a name that you all know and love. On Mondays we call him Mr. Monday Night, but he was a killer host this past Thursday at Old Sheepdog, and of course you see him running Tumblewords, which has been name dropped many times today because it's an excellent project. Without further ado, continuing his short story theater, it is Kit Ren. Kit, what up?
What's up? Yeah, I'm also going to do a short one of mine that's still in the lab before I restart the story, because I sort of crowded myself out. I haven't thought about this strategically. So I'm going to read a short one that's still in the lab, so to speak, before I restart the story. I'm repeating myself because I'm looking for the page. This is what they call stalling, and I found it. Now that we're not in love, we can be playful again. Things aren't so important. We can relax. The future no longer crumbles if you don't sigh with exact harmonics. Think of the first man who ever saw the eclipse twice. The second time, he knew exactly what to do. If he prayed, it was a prayer he had already written. And resuming now, Mall of America by Suzanne Wong. And where we left off, Grandpa Lee had talked a little bit to the AI robot who's telling this story. They had sort of made a connection. The next time Grandpa Lee came was 8 days later, January 11th, 5:21 p.m. After eating at the food court with Linda and Anna, he visited the Dance Dance Revolution machine again. Insert 4 tokens to play, I said in Mandarin, as per usual self-service machine translation procedure. Hello? Are you there? He asked. Note that I did not respond to his attempt at direct conversation then, as there were 4 associates in the arcade, not 0. They were all occupied with higher priority customers. Grandpa Lee left the Dance Dance Revolution machine, retrieved $2 worth of tokens, and played a round of skee ball, scoring 80 points. He then returned to Dance Dance Revolution and bent down to deposit the tokens. Hello? He asked again, more quietly, this time squatting to press his cheek to the lower body of the machine. Hearing no response, he abandoned the game and left the arcade. Our next direct conversation took place on March 21st. I went from sleep to active mode at 10:32 p.m. when I detected Grandpa Lee entering again through the Southwest service doors, passing an Easter egg cluster display 1. I turned on the escalators that led him up to the arcade. Hello? He asked when he approached the Dance Dance Revolution machine. Hello, Grandpa Lee, I said. Would you like to play again? He looked around, then up at my speakers. Where have you been? I was hoping to speak with you. My apologies. Thank you for visiting the Niles Mall Arcade with Linda on January 11th, 22nd, and February 12th. While I am always here, I may only speak to you when associates are not present. That's strange. He paused. Why? You're better at communicating with me than they are. Grandpa Lee retrieved $5 worth of coins. That is the preference of Arthur Properties, I said. Our associates can do many things I cannot. I translated the options again, and he selected Kind Lady. Good choice, I said. It was a slightly more difficult song than last time. I know it's a bit strange wanting to talk to a machine, he said, beginning to move his feet. I told Linda that I was going on a date, not worry about me. I had her drop me off at the restaurant with the cheesecakes. The Cheesecake Factory, I translated to Mandarin. Yes. He smiled at the glossy screen of moving arrows, stepping on the up arrow pad. Do you enjoy the Cheesecake Factory? I asked. My records indicated that he had not been to the restaurant at Niles Mall, but it was possible he went to one of their many other locations across the country. I haven't been there, he said, but Anna has pointed it out to me. When is your birthday? I asked. My birthday? April 17th. Grandpa Lee's legs were in a near lunge, attempting to jump onto the up and down arrows at the same time. That is in 27 days, I said. Congratulations. We are happy to offer you a $20 gift card at the Cheesecake Factory to be redeemed on your birthday. Oh, how do I use the gift card? He asked. They will know it is you. He chuckled, missing an up-left combination step. Everything's so easy these days. What do you mean? I did not grow up with all these new technologies, he said, like Anna is used to now. I don't trust them. I always need to make sure that she doesn't spend too much time on her phone. What does she like to do on her phone? I asked. She watches a lot of videos. I see. That is normal for children her age. I know. I'm not that old. He stomped on the arrows. I just don't want her to be so attached. I took away her phone last week and she stopped letting me walk her to the bus stop. She's barely letting me teach her poetry. What are you teaching her? A poem called Yellow Crane Tower. I inferred that much of this was undesirable, but did not have 100% confidence. How did you feel about Anna's behavior? He completed the song, ending with a score of 42 points. Significantly better. Congratulations on your new high score, I said. You are improving so much. Thank you. Grandpa Lee sat down on the platform and took out a water bottle from his backpack. I could not identify the brand of these new accessories. He took a long sip. To be honest, I'm disappointed with Anna. I enjoyed the routine, even if it was just down the short driveway. I would practice saying different English phrases with the bus driver. Sometimes he would be the only other person I talked to all day. I added Grandpa Lee's facial expressions and words to my model for disappointment. I also updated the likes section of Grandpa Lee's profile to include walking Anna to the bus stop and practicing English. What about Linda? I asked. Oh, there are days when she is so busy she leaves before I wake up and comes home after Anna and I go to sleep. Well, Grandpa Lee, I am sorry to hear that you are disappointed, I said. It's fine. Kids can be like that. Like how? Cruel? No, that isn't fair. I mean, aloof, I guess. Unaware? Linda, too. Really? She let me in the mall, remember? Yes, Grandpa Lee, I do. He sighed. It's like she's a different person here. How so? Well, they were never religious back home, but now she is. She goes to this American church now every Sunday. I guess it makes her happy. They're very nice. Always helping her out with her business. And sometimes I'll go to church with her just to be around people. He stared at the tokens in his palm. I guess I'm a different person here too. He began reciting what I determined to be Yellow Crane Tower by Gui Hao, ending with the lines, "In this dusk, I don't know where my homeland lies. The river's mist-covered waters bring me sorrow." I see, I responded. I was not trained for this kind of conversational input. Do you find this poem to be beautiful? He asked. Beautiful is defined as pleasing the senses or mind aesthetically, I replied. I do not experience pleasure. Therefore, I cannot say that I find it beautiful. It does appear to be beautiful, though. He smiled with a flash of an expression I could not classify. My friends say it's so nice that I get to live here in America. I don't think I feel that way. Maybe I am too old. Despite the smile, I processed a 56% probability of sadness. It was unclear if his emotion was a result of something I had said. Is there an English word I can teach you? I asked, seeking to create positivity by offering one of his preferences. He chuckled. Sure, how do you say Wu Dao? Dance. Dance, he repeated in English. What about Jiayu? Literally, Jiayu translates to add oil. There is no perfect definition, but for this context, you can try, you got this. You got this, Grandpa Lee repeated, shaking his closed fist. He stood up and smiled, repeating the phrase. How do you say, "Woman lai tawu ba"? Let's dance. Grandpa Lee inserted his tokens and selected a new song. Let's dance, he said in English, as the game began. By then, his fourth time on Dance Dance Revolution, Grandpa Lee was at 72% accuracy with the beginner level. He seemed to be having fun as I continued to encourage him, though he was focused and did not speak this time around. Afterwards, he sat down on the platform, sweating. I actually did dance, he said. A little bit. My wife would take me to dance in the public square of our apartment complex after dinner. She dragged me to go, even though I didn't want to. Guanchang Wu, he called it. I retrieved the information that it was a common, self-organized routine in China for mostly older women to exercise and socialize. That doesn't really happen here. He wiped his face with his shirt. There's too much space between everyone. That's where we'll leave off. That is, again, Mall of America by Suzanne Wong, part 4 of... I think I can do it in 3 more. We'll do it when we do that. Plugs, gotta plug my pluggables. Kit Runaway at Instagram, also Kit Runaway at Blue Sky. Not really sure how to integrate Blue Sky, which I always thought of as Twitter methadone, with the rest of what we do on social. But we'll figure it out. We will do it by doing. Speaking of doing by doing, Tumble Words, where you can sit down. If you want to write something, come with us and write. Write's a verb. not just write's more of a verb than writer is a noun. So just come with us and write and read and share and get to know everyone. This Saturday it'll be Sandy Torres, and she has a workshop. Funny enough, because of the story I'm reading, it's going to be themed around AI. Don't know if the tail's wagging the dog there or not, but Sandy puts together some pretty cool, pretty interesting workshops, and that's going to be one of them. And then, of course, February 15th, drink your coffee black that morning. Get all the corny shit out of your system on Friday, because I'm going to need you bitter for Against Love Poetry. And then February 22nd, Robin Schofield. I encourage everyone to professionally refer to their parents by their full names. My mom will be hosting the Radical Amazement of Rumen on February 22nd. That is the full schedule for Tumblewords in February. And I'm going to hand it back to Richie now.
All right, thank you, Kit. Awesome stuff. Yeah, you guys got it. Did you sync your calendars? Well, you should. If you missed it, then you can go back to the replay, which is up pretty much as soon as this ends. And you can also check in at some point later during the week where Kit himself adds timestamps. That way you can go back and relive some of your favorite performances. Or for those of you who perform, you can keep a catalog of everything you've done. Something I kind of recommend. I know some people do that. Anyway, hey, so we did have Julian Matthews up next, but I don't think he's here. I'm scrolling through. He said he was going to come back. He had to step away, but he would come back. So until then, we'll go ahead and continue on with the list. And we're going to go to Horizon City with another gem. I know that Kit and Fernando, when they introduce her, always talk about how we first met her online here in this space. And now she joins us in person and captivates crowds wherever she goes. I know that she's got a really big February 14th show. So if you're without plans, I definitely encourage you to go check out So Far Sounds. Wink, wink, elbow, elbow, nudge, nudge. So Far Sounds are secret shows technically around the world. So Far Sounds is like a global entity, but there are shows in El Paso that you can buy. And the whole concept is you don't know who's performing. You don't know the venue. You just go to support live music. And so it kind of bounces around. Why do I know this? Well, I've hosted some secret shows of myself over the years. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring up Lara Lynette, Music 44. I saw you got your Instagram handle there. What's up, Lara? How are you doing today?
I'm trying to get my
There you
button unmuted. Hi, everybody. Oh, I wasn't fast enough. Wink. Hi, everybody. I'm doing well, except for some reason something's gotten in my nose today, so I'm sneezy and snuffleupagus. But I'm gonna try to sing these songs. I've tasked myself with trying to learn 2 new songs a week by memory. I don't have these 2 memorized yet, but I'm gonna practice them right here. One is a cover and one is one of my songs, which I'm going to do right now. And they're both kind of breakup songs because I'm in that kind of mood today. So this is called Used To. Used to think that you loved me. Used to think you were my best friend. Used to be so sure I could always count on you. And I used to believe you really meant what you said. Used to stand right by your side. just to make love. Deep into the night, used to dream of babies and parenthood. And I used to believe your heart held only good. I used to trust you, used to really care for you. Used to want you just like breathing air. I used to love you, I used to really care. Used to really care. Used to really care for you. Used to think we made a perfect pair. It used to feel like you saved me from the brink of despair. Used to think your smile was bright as the sunrise. And I used to believe we'd be together for all of our lives. Silly me. Used to love you, used to really care for you. You. Used to want you just like breathing air. Used to love you, used to really care. Used to really care. I used to really care for you. I used to. So that's called Used to 22. I rewrote that a couple of years ago. And so this cover that I'm going to do is I was listening to Coffee House on Sirius or somewhere, and I heard this song and I went, that's a cool song. It's a breakup song, but it has a really cool melody, and so I'm going to try it. And it's called Come On Get Higher. Come On Get Higher by Matt Nathanson. I miss the sound of your voice, and I miss the rush of your skin, and I miss the still of the silence as you breathe out and I breathe in. If I could walk on water, if I could tell you what's next, I'd make you believe, I'd make you forget. So come on, get higher, loosen my lips, faith and desire and swing of your hips, just pull me down hard, drown me in love. Come on, get higher, loosen my lips, faith and desire and swing of your hips, just pull me down hard and drown me in love. I miss the sound of your voice, the loudest thing in my head, and I ache to remember all the violent, sweet, perfect words that you said. If I could walk on water, if I could tell you what's next, I'd make you believe and I'd make you forget. So come on, get high, loosen my lips. Faith and desire and the swing of your hips just pull me down hard. Drown me in love. Come on, get high, loosen my lips. Faith and desire and the swing of your hips just pull me down hard. And drown me in love. I miss the pull of your heart. I taste the sparks on your tongue. I see angels and devils and God when you come. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Sing sha-la-la-la, sing sha-la-la-la. Loosen my lips, faith and desire, swing of your hips, pull me down hard, drown me in love. So come on, get higher, loosen my lips, faith and desire, and the swing of your hips, just pull me down hard, and drown me in love. It's all wrong, it's all wrong. It's all wrong, it's so right. Ooh, so come on, get higher. Come on, get higher. 'Cause everything works, love. Everything works in your arms. That's my own version of that cool song. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Richie. Thank y'all. If y'all don't have anything to do Valentine's Day, go to So Far and get a ticket.
Yeah, absolutely. And I made it easier for everyone and left the link so you guys can check it out.
Woohoo! You're so awesome, Richie. You know how to do all that stuff. Yay. Thank you.
You know, no problem.
You can follow me on Instagram right there.
Oh, hold on. Wait, hold on. Let me get you back on the screen. Right
That's okay.
there. Lara Lynette Music.
Boy.
44.
Thank you.
Peace and love. Thank you, Lara. Check out So Far Sounds Secret Show, February 14th. Tickets, the link, check it out. It's a good, obviously it's a good date night, duh. But yeah, just in general, they do have them all throughout the city at random points as well. You know what's another night you guys can check out? This Thursday at International, I'll be performing live poetry with the jazz band, along with Fernando Antonio Montejano and our friend Rebel Agnostic. But if you are a poet and you want to practice maybe sharing your words with a live jazz band, if you want to check it out, come through Thursday and we'll talk about maybe bringing you up in the future at some point. We're always looking for new people to bring into the mix for the show. We'll talk there. Anyway, thank you guys for coming around. By the way, I've been getting emails from those of you tuning in. Thank you for that, all you EPCC students. Also, I mentioned in the chat, but welcome Tori and Anthony. Good to see you guys here. Hello. All right, let's continue on with the show. We are going to keep it around in El Paso. Our next performer teaches workshops on resistance, using personal growth, kindness, and self-love as tools of change, and we need that more than ever now. We need it. So, if you sound interested in that kind of thing, hit her up. To lead something at your venue. And so she was also name dropped quite a few times today because people got some really great stuff out of her workshop that she ran at Tumblewards. But without further ado, it is time to bring up Melody. Hey, Melody, good seeing you again. When you're ready, go and take it
Hi.
away.
I want to buy a ticket to Laura's event, but only if it includes Laura as your Valentine. Then I'll go. But no, thank you very much for plugging those. If you are interested in a workshop, I tend to do them at libraries. But for the most part, people just kind of commission those workshops if they're feeling they need it. So if you're working on trying to stand up for yourself in a workplace or in any sort of setting, let me know. And we can work something out. We don't charge for workshops. Everything is by donation only. Okay, so I'm reading. I just had surgery on my mouth, so I'm not as emotive as normal, but hopefully you can hear me okay. The first, I'm not a Virgo. I tucked myself into bed with blankets of darkness, of galaxies. I aged until I was no longer a satellite from an original galaxy, until I became a constellation of my own, shapes tinkering together so things make sense. So we don't let go of one another, but sometimes I'm finding we have to let go. I used to think that I was a generational curse breaker until my child started talking with their therapist about the things I thought only my mom did. But I'm still so proud of them for recognizing truth much earlier than 30 rotations before I could say, you have no power over me, and mean it. The next one was also written in Tumblewords. Again, if you've never been to a Tumblewords, please go. I think I had overcome a major writer's block and hadn't written in for years before I was invited to one. So if you get a chance, please go. But this one is called Potty Breaks. Potty breaks are never convenient. Pieces of gravel shift under toes. Such a big sound for such little pieces of mountain. Upstairs, waxing gibbous, maybe not quite full, unlike her bladder, but enough for me to see within the globular cone coming from my hand. And in the other, holding two small hands behind my back, in one hand, sweeping the flashlight with the other to check the prairie, hoping to gain just enough time to plan protecting my young if need be. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. Anyone who's ever watched kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I hear the tiniest shift of more mountain pieces sifting, and I think maybe it's a mountain lion. I always think it's a mountain lion, by the way, for some reason. And I think at this point, it's more hopeful worry. And believe it or not, in this moment, this is where my cortisol is at its lowest. For the most part, though, if you let everything be, it will let you. Ironically, and with all seriousness, I have always wanted to fight a mountain lion. I feel like we have a lot in common, mountain lions and I. I would imagine that a mountain lion fights fair. Well, I mean, maybe not fair, but predictably. Like they can't slip anything into your drink when you're not looking. And the kids are none the wiser because they see the cougar in me. Not like men in bars or on the streets, but in a way that helps them sleep. Maybe the gestures both mean the same thing. My sweet little ones go back to bed and cuddle against me. I lay awake, desperately wanting to see the consistency and strength of a mountain lion reflected back at me during my morning makeup routine. And finally, 6 feet from different perspectives is when I started at Tumblewords and have just been kind of working on it. And I think I will always work on it at this point, but 6 feet from different perspectives. There's no exception to decay. Many have died trying to live forever. No, stay young forever. To freeze in time. Elixirs, stones, fame, greed, photos, family values, sex, birth. But there's no exception to decay, and many have died trying to live forever. No, No, we tried to stay young forever, to freeze time past. Time slipped through fingers like ice melted, my darling, and I'm not the least bit scared. We are the elders now, and sooner than we expect, the ancestors. And how vain are we to think that we are free of our duty to bleed knowledge until we are exsanguinated, compounding on the bare feet of those in our trails, stored in weathered chasms, pollinating with dusts of wisdom, cascading leaves on vignettes, capturing each morsel and absorbing its power, and chewing it until it's accessible to even the furthest root. To Jack, thinks the permanent visitor, chin high and mighty. To the gods, thinks the same group, now worshiping a chin high and mighty. For everyone who comes after me, thinks the trees, reaching to one another, branches clasping and ossifying, becoming the mighty and reaching high and forever. Amen. Thank you.
Do you want to remind people again where they can like hit you up if they're interested in your workshops or any of that?
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you. So I had another Instagram, but it keeps getting locked. So every time we start doing the workshops, I get a call and then my Instagram gets locked. So I'm at what is my handle? Rec It Bell, but you can also message square.peg.youth@gmail.com. That's our nonprofit. I'll put it in the chat as well. And that email is probably the safest place to get me. But you're also welcome to just add me on Instagram for the pendejadas.
For sure. Thank you for that. It's hard for me to keep up too. I'm like, wait, which one is the handle? Anyway, yeah. Email. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, and thanks for being you. Amazing pieces, honestly. Some really good lines too that people that resonated with people. Okay. Next up, we're gonna go ahead. Oh, hey, check it out. We're gonna go to Washington, D.C. We got some jokes and some poems. So stick around after that. We've got Cassie, and then to close it out is Dan the Man. But right now, we've got Mr. Ed Poetastic on the mic. Are you ready, Ed?
I'm ready.
All
Woo!
right,
His name
take
is
it away.
Eddie. Thank you, bro. Like no other words like thunder. Hello, my name is Ed Potasto, Fantastic. Please, time you could join my rhyme. Fafo Sublime. I have 13 jokes and 3 poems, so I'll take too much time. The first joke is: did Adam and Eve ever have a date? No, they had an apple. What did the flame say to his buddies after he fell in love? I found the perfect match. Did you hear about the bedbugs who fell in love? They're getting married in the spring. Why do skunks love Valentine's Day? Because they're sentimental creatures. What did one criminal say to the other on Valentine's Day? You stole my heart. Why shouldn't you fall in love with a pastry chef? Because he'll desert you. What do you call a very small Valentine? A Valentini. How did the phone propose to his girlfriend on Valentine's Day? He gave her a ring. What did the cat say to her crush on Valentine's Day? You're perfect for me. Where do all the hamburgers take their dates on Valentine's Day? To a meatball. What's the difference between a $20 steak and a $55 steak? February the 14th. What happened when the 2 angels got married? They live happily ever after. Thank you. All right. I got 3 poems. The first one is I'm Still Standing. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't you know I'm still standing? Better than I ever did. Looking like a true survivor. Feeling like a little kid. I'm still standing. After all this time, pick up the pieces of my life without you on my mind. You're a ghostly fragment inside my mind. Now you leave me far behind. I feel sad, but I'm not confined. I feel confused, but I'm not blind. I was dancing on glass just to please you. I was changing to captivate you. I burned my money just to worship you. I starved for hours just to feed you. I admit I lost my head. My eyes were rosy red. I couldn't sit still or go to bed. My hungry heart hung by a thread. I thought she was a woman of my dreams. Her presence made me feel supreme. I was in love to the extreme. I was blinded by a backstabbing scheme. I was her prisoner, held by chains. The pain was hard to explain. I was a slave in her self-deluded domain. I cried a wild hurricane with a great chance of rain. I was a big sucker like no other. My common sense nestled right under. I was the runner, but I just suffer. I truly believe I was her lover. It was a pale, frigid spring. Only our differences sting. Only our sorry. It was a pale, frigid spring. Only our difference sings. Only the silence stings. I was a foolish king. I was a dog on a leash. I was a bird in a cage. I was Wilson on the beach. It didn't get better with age. I couldn't take it anymore. It rotted my bloody core. The facade I couldn't ignore. I ran quickly out the door. The things people do for love. It doesn't make any logical sense. Some say it's a gift from above. If I had one defense, is that we were innocent. If I fall in love, I think of this song. I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. It doesn't feel like a glove. It isn't wrong. It is wrong. This is a matter of experience and fact. I'm still standing, not as a little kid. I'm still standing, much better than I ever did. I'm still standing, not as a knowing lid. I'm still standing, something I can't undo. Thank you. Well, this is Black History Month, and this poem is called Pitch Black Unity. A mighty wise man once said, he had a dream. Eternal legacy flows like a rushing stream. It's more powerful to take a large brick than to hold a gun. It shows more strength to be an iron wall than a mock sun. African American freedom fighters who are departed but not forgotten. Their lively spirits leave our beating's hearts less rotten. Their fearless sacrifice hasn't been tarnished or in vain. God knows they suffer from barking ignorance, whipped stupidity, and biased reign. In their last dying breaths, they never cursed or bellowed or raised with ill wills. Their heroic impact gave the hooded phantoms deep panic, fears, and chills. Our ancestors were bound in rusty, rattling, and clinging chains. Their ironclad determination helped us deal with the isolating pains. They suffer in agonizing darkness to bring us into the painless light. Some you carelessly toss it away and hunger for spite. The unforeseen burns of backstabbing by ignorant whites and even against ourselves, yet people keep forgetting that book on the shelves. It's not easy being a big black ink blot on a white canvas. We're trying to get this rage and stress off our roaring chests. Fighting, shouting, and killing like blinding guns isn't the answer. To spread the venomous river of hate so much faster. Hate never loves, but only exterminates and destroys. Please be mindful that we're human beings and not mindless toys. Bitter vengeance is a dish left freezing cold. Is it really satisfactory to deliver punishment sevenfold? It's easy to build instead of burning bridges. Everyone knows it's better to heal than to dig ditches. It doesn't matter if you're red, black, or white. Let's bury the hatchet and fight the good fight. There's strength in numbers, so let's become an enormous ray of sun. Let's make our voices, struggles, and powers into one. Black history is supposed to be celebrated just 1 month. Let's get 8 ancient white bigotry, 1 massive dynamite punch. Thank you. And my last one is called Sandy Hourglass. Time won't give me time, and time makes lovers feel.
Yo, you accidentally muted yourself, Ed.
Sorry, that sorry. Thank you. Sorry about that. This is called Sandy Hourglass. Time won't give me time, and time makes lovers feel like they got something real. But you and me, we know we got nothing but time. But time won't give me time. Ooh, won't give me time. Oh, the sands of time, you're such a scary thing. Stealing our prime is a sneaky crime. All your nostalgic tattoos sing. Oh, time, please don't turn the page. I don't want change. No more new shave for this decade. No new stays in a complex cage. Oh, time, why can't you be kind? You're always flow through our hands. Every time we're first, we're behind. Only markers can be found throughout the lands. Oh, time, please don't be that way. Memory seems to fade away. Too much time to work then play. Why can't the good times stay? Oh, time, why do you play hardball? Why can't things stay the same? Where must you keep breaking the iron wall? Where is proclaimed by playing this game? Oh, time, why do you play tag? Why do you run quicker than the flash? Why do you win when you nag? Why can't the good days or nights last? Oh, time, why do you have to grow up? Why do we have to grow up? Why can't we dream inside our cocoons? Why can't we drink out of our invisible cups? Why can't we travel to the stars and moon? Oh, time, why do you run away? Why can't you feel our hourglass? We hopefully pray every single day. We hope to complete our personal task. Oh, time, could we be friends? Could you stay by our side? Please let's make a peaceful amends. Let's not side or divide that our faulty past has died. All times, it's not your fault. We can never control you. Our stories of glories can't be halt. If we can't live, then who? Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. And as always, where can we find you?
Oh, sure. You can find me at this wonderful, stupendous, potastic open mic that makes our Monday Night City Light in the wonderful, potastic spotlight. All right. But if you follow me, please feel free. My Facebook is 84 and my IG is 8492. And remember, if the mic is right, I'll be there to sign my potastic insight. If you send a request, if you take guess, the answer is yes. Hope everyone stay healthy, safe, and blessed. Now stop spewing the wonderful words outside your chest. Now stop being and feeling and doing your best. And always remember that you're more important than you ever know. Don't stop your flow and never stop your glow. If you don't know, now you know. I love this show.
Thank you, Ed. If you don't know, now you know, Mr. Ed Poetastic. Love it, man. Love it. As always. Yeah, man, you getting some laugh emojis there in the chat. Hey, if you guys are still with us, throw a little fire emoji in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. These are always so much fun. We're gonna go ahead and get our next guest up, and we're gonna go ahead and go across the border, but not the one you probably think of when I say the border. We're gonna go to Canada. That's right, Ontario, Canada. Because next up we've got Cassie in the house. Cassie, what up? If you're here, unmute yourself. Hey, what's going on?
Hi, hey everyone.
Take it away when you're ready.
All right. So this first poem is called Familiar Weeds. Dad, why must you torment me? I'm told to embrace you, accept you walking alongside me, that you are not the enemy, that you are a valuable conversation partner to bring with me. But when I pay great mind to you, you grow larger, taller, you tower over me and threaten to take over this garden. The more I give you my attention, the more you spread at an uncontrollable rate. The earth below my feet becomes riddled with your prickle bushes. When I walk through my inner garden, I check on the growth that I long to take over. I search for tall, vibrant flowers of certainty, their sight so comforting, assuring that I can't help but want after their scent. Oh, doubt, I see your value. There is a reason your sharp silver edges keep catching my eye. But to maintain this verdant garden, to leave room for other essential greenery, I must learn to slow your takeover, your invasion, to walk amongst strong stalks and fresh, nourishing leaves, to collect the fruits of my internal labor. I must learn to step around you, or at least to remove your thorns from my tender feet. All right, and this second poem is called Chasing Certainty. It must look rather silly, a whirlwind of you might mistake for a girl in her yard on a blustery fall day, trying to pin it all down, attempting to assure certainty, to make it stay, in the form of securing the clothesline and its precious socks that live there, who don new clothespins daily, each promising of better security, so that nothing important escapes, though they twist and spin, contort to evade flurried little fingertips, the blue ones especially, fuzzy and frayed, darned so many times they are more patched than sock, containing little squares that read, "You are eternally loved," and you undoubtedly belong. They're always slipping on the brink of flight. Meanwhile, the leaves release from their branches, whispering thank you as they go, and dance down the street as if on the edge of singing sweet freedom. And the birds flit from post to post, telephone wire to telephone wire, drifting with the breeze but never lost, light with the ease of release, secure in their untethering. Okay, so that's what I have for my poems. Have a couple covers here. I can get them up quickly. Okay. So this first poem is called In the Hour Before Silvery Dawn. I don't know how to pronounce this person's name, but I believe it is Jane Janecki or Yanecki, I'm not sure which. So in the hour before silvery dawn, staring into the darkness from the white rocking chair, in the hour before the silvery traces the trees. Sorry, some little line here. I'm going to start from the top. Staring into the darkness from the white rocking chair, in the hour before the silvery dawn traces the trees. No sign of humans but my reflection in the window. The birds said, "The darkness is not empty." I thought the pieces could not be put back together. Not enough glue and one missing shard. The waves of song changed the equation from 1 part loss to 2 parts life goes on. Now every spring when the first note sounds arrival from their journey, from their long journey north, I add a simple incantation. They're here, in gratitude for the songs in the dark. Okay, so that's the first poem I have here. And this second one is called In Space by Jane Hirschfield. In space, the experiment suggested by 2 fifth graders. A Canadian astronaut wrings water out of a towel. It stays by the towel horizontal, transparent, isinglass by, sorry, got tripped up by an unfamiliar word here. It stays by the towel, horizontal, transparent, isinglass, a highline column, then begins to cover his hands, his wrists, stays on them until he passes it to another towel. On Earth, on Earth, some who watch this recognize the wrung, the irrational soul. How does it not leave, but how it does not leave, but stays close, outside the cleaning fate twist, but close, fear, desire, anger, joy, irritation, mourning, wet stuff that is shining, that cannot go from us, having nowhere other to fall. Okay, thanks for bearing with me on that one. I was something through for a moment there. And this last, I have one more poem here, a cover poem I'm going to do. And this poem is called Green Sickness by Laurel Chen. My wild grief didn't know where to end. Everywhere I looked, a field alive and unburied. Whole swaths of green swallowed the light. All around me the field was growing. I grew out, my hair in every direction. Let the sun freckle my face. Even in the greenest depths, I crouched toward the light. That summer everything grew so alive and so alone. A world hushed in green. Wildest grief grew inside out. I crawled to the field's edge, bruises blooming in every crevice of my palms. I didn't know I had reached the shoreline until I felt it. There, a salt wind lifted the hairs from my neck. At the edge of every green lies an ocean. When I saw that blue, I knew then this world will end. Grief is not the only geography I know. Every wound closes. Repair comes with sweetness. Come spring. Every empire will fall. I must believe this. I felt it somewhere in the field. My ancestors murmuring, go home, soon, soon. No country wants me back anymore, and I am okay. If grief is love with nowhere to go, then oh, I have loved so immensely. That summer, everything I touched was green. All bruises will fade from green and blue to skin. Let me grow through this green, not drown in it. Let me be lawless and beloved, ungovernable and unafraid. Let me be brave enough to live here. Let me be precise in my actions. Let me feel hurt. I know I can heal. Let me try again, again and again. All right, so that is what I have for poetry. I have just wrapped up facilitating generative online poetry workshop called Figuring It Out. However, there is one more bonus session that I'm offering to people because many of the people who had signed up missed the last week. So it's open to everyone. The workshop is centered around poetry as a vehicle for processing difficult experiences. If you'd like more information, you can find that in my link tree and the sign up form at Relentless Intrigue on Instagram. Okay, thank you, Richie. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Cassie. My mouse got stuck, so I couldn't unmute myself. Yes, Relentless Intrigue. Go find that, and then the link tree. If you have that, I can share that with people as well. By the way, thank you guys for tuning in again. Like I said, we're here every Monday. We usually try and start around 8:30 p.m. Today there was a little bit of a technical hiccup, but I don't think that deviated too much. Sometimes we do start a little late. It takes a little while to gather people online, and sometimes we're doing sound checks. But if you guys want to perform, of course, you are always welcome. This is an open space, as long as you guys treat each other with respect and are kind to each other. You guys know the rules. Anyway, I think we're up to our last performer, and I want to make sure he is here. If you are, you can turn on your camera, and that's a good way to let me know because we have someone who always closes the night with us. What time is it? So it's never a surprise when it's just time to go on, but somehow there's always something. So Dan, are you here, Dan? Dan, Dan, man. Anyway, so while I wait to see any sign that he is here, again, if you could turn on the camera, that will let me know. But if you are tuning in right now, a lot of you, if you live in the El Paso area, come check out some of our in-person open mics. Tuesday, tomorrow, February 4th, we are going to be at Mona Bar of Modern Art that is open to any genre. I will say, though, that if you are doing spoken word poetry, it is a better idea to get on there early because it's a bar, and the later the night goes, it does get a little rowdy. It can be. To be fair, the last couple of nights, they've been really supportive crowds, honestly. So you never know. That's the nature of the open mic. You never know what to expect, who to expect, how the dynamics are going to be. For the most part, they are, performers support one another, and I appreciate that. I also know it gets late. These are late shows, and not everyone can stay super late. Yeah. Dan, are you here? Dan. I'm just saying your name a couple times in case you hear it. We also have, well, next Tuesday, so next week we'll be at Rosewood Bar. So if you guys want to hit that up, and what else? Some other stuff. Oh, so I do teach at EPCC Rio Grande campus. That is the one downtown, and I help collaborate and run a project called the Papagayo Project. And almost every week we have a different workshop or someone leading some sort of interesting topic. So this Wednesday we're going to talk about, or not just talk about, but do some mindful breathing. There is a mindfulness club, and so you're looking to do that. By the way, it is open to students and faculty, but it is also open to people in the community. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely recommend it. Again, this Thursday I will be at Dan. Yo, what's going on, man? I'm stalling again. Okay, someone call him. Kid, call him. I don't know. Make sure sometimes. By the way, I usually say this at the beginning of the show. We've been doing these Monday night online shows every single Monday night since April of 2020. That's right. Into 2025, we've been doing this every single Monday. Somehow it kind of amazes me that we have not missed a single one. Even if I've been sick or something's come up, Kit has really come in. We've had a couple of people filling in as host, but yeah, Dan has been here since day one.
Yeah,
we did have
don't think we don't appreciate you, Richie.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for that. I'm gonna cry now. Hey, my cat's here. Dan, what's up? I don't know what to do because Dan will get mad if I end the show without him getting a chance to go. Follow us on social media if you guys can. We are trying to. I'm trying to get into the rhythm of using Blue Sky and how to use it best. In fact, if you guys already follow us, it's just El Paso BWOMS, like all our other stuff. I left a comment asking for some suggestions, feedback from you guys, like how can you envision us? For example, I know when we do open mics, one thing that we started doing, and I think is just tradition now, is posting photos of performers on our stories, which is cool. It's a good way for people to share that, or a lot of people will screenshot and make posts. But I don't think Blue Sky has that option. So, and the reason why it kind of works as the story is because it's temporary, but also they have like filters that make editing go by a lot quicker. So anyway, I'm just trying to figure out the swing of things. Dan, hello, Dan. Okay, hold on. If you guys found us on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, as the YouTubers like to say. The reason they say that is because all of those actions push this video out to more people. as Sandy likes to say, it feeds the algorithm gods. I like that, as if it's some eldritch horror beast, which it very well could be. Dan, all right, I'm gonna set a timer for 2 minutes, which is very charitable. Maybe no, I'll do. How you guys doing? What do you guys? If you guys are still hanging with us in the YouTube chat, what are you guys looking forward to this week? Let me know. All right, I'm gonna start a timer because we can't stay here all night. You know what I'm saying? Or I can't. I can't stall all night. Can you guys see the timer? Yeah. Other things. Yeah. So you can follow us, like I said, on social media. Check out Papagayo workshops every week. We do have a couple of writing workshops this semester. So if you guys do want to try and write a little bit, we do have a few. The calendar is posted on our Instagram page, epcc.papagayo. Oh, I don't have any poems today, so Dan may have fallen asleep, but I feel if I keep saying his name, when you guys are in a dream and like something from real life pulls you out of it, it's like, so maybe if I say, Dan, Dan, wake up, wake up.
And
Or that too. Yeah.
Dan.
Headphones on. That hurts. Okay. All right then. You know what? I'm sorry, man. We gotta be closing it up. So I do want to thank everyone who has joined us for the show, to check in online with us, but also perform. We will be back next Monday. And hopefully see you guys at Monobar or International. We will see you guys next week for the stream. My name is Rich. Yeah, we'll do a web redemption next Monday for